Hello and welcome to another episode of the E-commerce Coffee Break podcast. Today we want to talk about loyalty in times of economic downturn. Most people have heard that there is a recession looming there and that the economy is not doing as well as it did. And we want to find out how e-commerce merchants, Shopify merchants, can increase the retention of their customers. And there's different ways to do that. So there can be subscriptions, memberships, bundling, loyalty programs, and more. So we want to dive a little bit more into this. And for this, I have some guests on the board. So that's Mahesh and Hemant Purswani. They are the founders of Appstill. And Appstill is a company that helps with retention. They have different apps on the store. Ria is by heart a hardcore business strategist, a former BCG consultant and ex-Amazonian, and Hemant is a coder by heart, soul, and mind, and also he's a former Apple Siri engineer. Both of them are based in Sunnyvale, California, so in the midst of Silicon Valley, and they have a vast experience when it comes to building loyalty for your customers. So let's welcome to the show. Hi, how are you guys today?
Good. How are you? Thank you for having us.
Ria, tell me a little bit on how important is building loyalty for a merchant, for an online store?
Sure. So building loyalty, I would say, has always been, critical success factor for any brand. Starting from some of the largest brands right now, the way they started, Amazon or Walmart. But specifically to your introductory point on recession, I think it's never been more important. Right? I would say a couple of reasons. First one is with recession, I think disposable incomes across the world, it's reducing. So how do you still keep your brand relevant enough that your customers want to spend with you? So I think it's to do with the product itself, and it's also to do with the experience and how good your customers are made to feel. Do they feel rewarded for sticking to your brand? Plus, is your product relevant enough for them to show that affinity? Is the experience smooth enough for them to stay with you? So like multiple questions there. So that's, I think, a key point. And the second thing is not specifically to do with the recession, but to do with the overall, I would say, the number of options that are out there for customers, right? I mean, like take any particular product or service. There's like tens and sometimes going to hundreds of options. They're like multiple brands, and with, I would say, a global market, it's very easy for people to shop across the globe. Shipping is pretty easy. So given that, how do you ensure that it is your store that people actually pick? So that's, I think, making the whole loyalty, or at a broader level, the customer retention aspect, pretty important.
I think very important that you mentioned there, for a small business, small and medium enterprise, for a brick and mortar store going online, they're not competing with the other businesses in the area, they're competing with the rest of the world. So that's sort of the downside of globalization, and a merchant should keep that in mind. So when it comes to retention, obviously, as I said, there's different strategies on building strategy with, or building a loyalty with your customer. I want to dive a little bit more into this. Give me a couple of ideas what I can imagine a merchant should do or can do to build up this retention.
Sure. Actually, customer retention is also, I would say, the primary focus area for Appstill itself as a brand. So if you see the two products that you mentioned of Appstill that are currently live, Appstill subscriptions as well as Appstill memberships, both target this very key element of customer retention. Yes, it's also customer retention and a little bit of wallet share. So basically getting a greater share of the customer's wallet, how much they're willing to spend. But more than that, it's about the continuous engagement of the customer, right? Like continuous engagement in the sense that how you sustain to be the relevant store for them to go and shop. So those are two, I would say, very, very critical strategies. And definitely I would like to dive into them. And Appstill, we also have two other products that are currently in pipeline, again, targeting the same critical question of customer retention. So again, going back to spend some time on subscriptions and memberships, oftentimes we've actually found that a lot of our merchants, and sometimes even say blog writers and a lot of people that we interact with, sort of get confused between the two terms and they sort of mix them. And I sort of understand that also, like why the confusion exists, because a lot of times membership plans exist as a subscription, right? You subscribe for a membership, but they're still like different in the sense of the purpose that they're solving. So subscription at the very basic level is just the subscribe and save that Amazon gives. So let's say any product that you have a use for on a recurring basis. It could be something like a diaper, or it could be coffee, or it could be a face wash. So you have, the need is not just a one-time need. So in those cases, instead of having the customer come and buy that product every time that need arises, you create a subscription. First of all, from the merchant side, it's easy because it's recurring revenue, right? And it's friction-free because every time the customer needs that particular product, they're not going to shop around. So that disturbance or the distraction doesn't exist. This product is continuously coming to their doorstep. Again, from a customer standpoint, it's the convenience that's super critical. And second thing is oftentimes with the subscription, it always goes with subscribe and save, right? So the discount for being this loyal customer. So I would say that is a very, very critical element. And of course, with subscriptions, there are a lot of sophistications that we can do. Absol offers a lot of these sophistications. It's, for example, tiered discount, right? So as a customer is spending more and more time subscribing and having more and more orders delivered, you can keep increasing the discount that they get, or you can play around with the shipping costs. There are multiple things that you can do. But beyond that, the basic one is how do you make your customer's life easy? So I would say that's one critical thing. And the second one is memberships. So memberships, I would say the best example for it is Amazon's Prime membership, right? It doesn't have anything to do with an actual delivery of a product, but it's about the experience of the delivery, right? So all Prime members pay X amount of dollars to be an Amazon Prime member. And irrespective of how often they shop at Amazon, any Prime member, whenever they shop, they get easy shipping, they get 2-day shipping, and it's free, right? And that perk is reserved for just the Prime members. So basically, membership is just about creating, I would say, a niche status within any brand or store, and then giving few special perks just for that niche, I would say, status holders. So it could be free shipping, like in the case of Amazon, or it could be first look of the first seasonal products that any brand brings. It could also be additional discounts, or it can be just like Costco, right? Because with Costco, the entire store is only for their members. So it could even be something as exclusive as that. So that's another key strategy. And then we also have the other big portion of customer retention, which is just having sophisticated loyalty programs. Could be rewards for every time a customer purchases from your store. And the rewards can be based on the amount that they spend on your store, the frequency of their purchase, and obviously they get rewarded for that through store credit or discounts. It could be multiple things. But one underlying thing that I also wanted to mention here, since we were also specifically talking about SMBs, is that irrespective of which strategy, say, an SMB chooses, or even large enterprises, or they can also have multiple of these subscriptions and memberships, the key critical thing is to really know your customers. Like, who are your target customer segments or customer segments, and what do they really want? So earlier, it used to be just about the demographies. So what is the gender, predominant gender, age, location, and all that. But now I think it's more to do with the psychographics. So what are your customers really going through? And based on that, what do they feel like and what do they want? So I think knowing that and knowing how it's changing periodically is, I think, super important to really hit the nail on any of the strategies that, say, the merchants pick.
Okay, no, it makes perfect sense. Subscriptions are around for a long time, and as I said, it can become very complex. You can offer weekly, monthly subscriptions, different intervals per member or per person who has subscribed to your products. I want to dive a little bit more in the overall view. So if you have a membership, you probably need to start promoting the membership to your clients, not only because of the benefits they will get, but also basically on a day-to-day basis to keep them engaged. And then throwing in loyalty program and subscription-based products. Give me an idea what a merchant should do from the manpower of side. So basically, do they need a membership manager or anything like that to keep the ball rolling? What's your experience there?
Hemant, do you want to take this question?
So, like our membership program is pretty much self-service. As of now, like merchant obviously has to promote their membership program via emails, Klaviyo email, for example, they use to basically send out a blast email to all their customers about membership program. But once they basically provide a sign up link, after that, their customer signs up and that's about it. You know, they get certain points or free shipping or a free product, basically something that sort of ensures that they stick to the membership program. And similarly for subscriptions, what we have a very, it was recently implemented feature to basically retain subscribers, and what we call it quick actions. And what basically merchants can do is, let's say if someone has a subscription and uh, the subscriber has already canceled the subscription, they can send out a blast email. We build a quick action link for our merchants, and they can send out this link to all the customers who have canceled the subscription and tell them that if you would reactivate it, you'll get 10% off or get a free product. Similarly, there's another feature we recently released, like if someone is trying to cancel a subscription, and we basically tell them, would you prefer to pause instead of cancellation, let's say for 2 cycles or 3 cycles. So there are a lot of uh, there is a feature for, we call it sort of getting a feedback from a customer. We call it all comes under a part of cancellation management. And like, so that if there are 4 options, basically merchant can ask customer, like, hey, what are the reasons, like why are you canceling subscription? Is the subscription cost too high? Benefits are not relevant, and all that. And we have both of these, like this cancellation management is present both in the membership program as well as in the subscription program. I also want to going back to the loyalty, I want to highlight 2 stories, and one of them actually happened today in the morning, like why loyalty is important. So today I had a call with a merchant in the morning, and they sell something very simple: eggs. That's all they sell. And what this merchant told me, that once someone has bought a subscription, they prefer to, even let's say if they come back to their site and they have even one time like other products apart from eggs, they prefer to add those add those one time purchase products to their existing subscription instead of going through the entire checkout process. Why? Because that process is longer. Adding something to the subscription is super easy. It's like one click checkout. So you just add it and that's it. And so it becomes super duper critical. And then and for that we have upsell and everything, that if you just add something new to like any existing any new product to your subscription, you would get merchant can offer upsell discount and all. So that's one reason why you want to have this subscription for loyalty. Another is, we have another merchant who sell these salad meals for subscription. Now what this guy told me is the acquisition cost for customer, it's becoming higher. Why? Because everyone is running Facebook ads. So first of all, ads are expensive. Second, because of recent algorithm changes in Apple, it's becoming very hard to target the right audience. So that means you have to invest a lot more to gain customers. Once you gain customers, you are actually going to be in loss if you're just acquiring those customers for one time. It makes sense only to acquire them for subscription, because when they would have recurring orders, that's when you would actually eventually make profit out of them. So it's super duper important for them to sort of target those ads for subscriptions instead of just for one time purchase. And like, I just wanted to highlight these 2 stories, like why, because of the recent trends, the algorithmic change in Apple, plus the fact that it's frictionless to add any new product, or add any new product even as a one-time purchase to your subscription. And we have that. First of all, we have that feature. Not every subscription program has it. We have it, like you can add something just for one time, one time recurring. After that, it would be automatically removed from the subscription. But it makes it super easy, especially because for a subscription, shipping is cheaper if merchant decides to offer that. So for all those reasons, customers prefer that. So yeah, just wanted to highlight those 2. Yeah.
Yeah, and just one quick thing I wanted to add there, clause on the membership manager, right? I think I would say it depends. It depends on how big the store is and how large a membership base that a store has, and also how diverse that particular membership base is. Obviously, if a store has thousands of members that are sort of different from each other in terms of their expectations, and there's like the store has multiple membership tiers. So knowing each one of them and seeing what is the response is and whether the members are really happy and if any changes are needed, yes, probably a membership manager might be needed, or even just a product manager, I think should be enough. But for any simple store that is starting out, that say has about less than maybe 500 members, I think it's totally doable. The reason is also because of the strong analytics a lot of these tools give, right? Just taking Appsel's example. So Appsel has very real-time analytics, both for our subscriptions and for our memberships product. And that will be the case for the other tools that we release in the future too. So that's real time, and it'll clearly give you how each of your membership plan is doing. And even within your membership plan, what is the click rate? And are members preferring one product over the other? So where exactly are they spending more time? So you get like very, very, I would say, in-depth and granular analytics, which you can also up-level to a high level. And it's not just this, we also make these analytics very easy to consume, because we understand that our products are very techy, but our merchants might not be techy. They are business people. And again, they might also not be just pure data people or data analytics, data scientist people. So we have that in mind when we design. So we take like very sophisticated data and make it very, very simple to read. So that should be, I think, more than enough for a store with 500 members to manage. You don't really need a membership manager.
Okay.
And adding to Ria's point, like as I was mentioning, like I had this call with merchant today only, and one of the analytics which is very important to merchants is that because inventory management becomes super critical when someone has subscription program. Taking example of these, merchant who's selling eggs, if there are 65 dozens, of eggs that they are selling, let's say if they have 65 subscribers, that means 65 dozen of eggs are going to be, then they always need to make sure that they have more than that. And because some of their customers can even buy it as, one-time purchase and all. And we provide that inventory management that, hey, you would need at least, 65, in this case, 60, if someone has, let's say, double or triple of, let's say 2 dozen eggs, then we provide all that inventory. And it's really important for them to know this, so that, they ensure that they always have inventory to fulfill those items.
Okay.
And going, another thing is like, yeah, I mean, in terms of, I thought the membership management was, from our perspective, we have like, we just basically ask merchants to send out emails. But in terms of the size of the merchants, we have merchants who have their own e-commerce managers, and we directly deal with them. And they even have some custom features they ask us to implement, sometimes even integrations with their internal system. And then we have merchants who are pretty much on Shopify, and they just need standalone membership or subscription program. Yeah.
Okay. I think a very good point that you made earlier, Hemant, is that the customer lifetime with subscriptions is just much, much higher, and merchants not necessarily break even or make profit with the first sale. So that's quite important, what I think. Also, I like the idea that with the subscription, you can increase the average order value because people are not buying the subscription product, they just add more. I think the same goes for the membership. Before we come to the end of the e-commerce coffee break, just give me an idea, membership. Do you charge for the memberships, or are membership generally for free? What do merchants do there?
So we don't, so our pricing is based on the number of memberships that your store would have. So up to 50 members, it's completely free. After 50 members, up to then 500 members, we charge pretty nominal $10 per month, and so on. So it's just based on membership, but features wise is pretty much same across all our tiers. Obviously for enterprise, we have some special features, and same is the case for subscription, plans as well, where the pricing is based on a number of subscriptions. But apart from it, there are also like certain features that are let's say you won't even need it if you're not selling a lot of subscription. I'll give an example. We have bulk automations. Merchants need this. Let's say if they have 10,000 subscriptions, and we do have merchants who have even close to 100,000 subscriptions, and they want to update something in bulk. And so this feature is only available in enterprise, because if, let's say, if you have 50 subscriptions, it's not as useful as it is for. So we have also segregated features based on their need and the volume transactions for the merchant. Yeah.
Is there any kind of homework that a merchant needs to do before they approach you and want to set up either a membership or a subscription?
No, not really. Obviously, if we have merchants who have come to us from other subscription program. And so one of the things they ask us is, what should be because essentially we would have to import their data from the, other subscription program. And so what basically there is a meeting where we tell them that we have the sample file. This is how the data would be. And we have also sort of created, you can call it channels, because we already know what are the other popular subscription programs. And if someone is coming from, let's say, X, Y, or Z, we know what kind of data we are going to get from this channel X. So we have already created some tools to automatically convert that data into what we need. And that's how. But most of it is pretty, we have kept it very simple in terms of our UI, so that it's easy for especially non-techie, merchants to understand. And we have 24/7 support. And yeah, so we have made it very simple, and documentation is really great. Video tutorials is really great. Plus, but if I have to highlight something, it has to be our 24/7 support. That even if someone has any questions, including coming from any other subscription program, it's super duper easy, because we just get on a call with the merchant and explain them how it's going to work out.
Yeah, I think your Shopify ratings speak for themselves. You have 1,905 star ratings, and most of them are highlighting also the support. So that's definitely a big benefit, what I can see from there. So where can people find where can people find more out about your apps?
Rakshithaa?
Yeah, I would say, again, I'm piggybacking on what you just said, Klaus. I think the Shopify listing page is probably the best place to know more about us. It's not just the help docs and everything that are available to everybody in the public, but the reviews are there, the listing page details are there. But more than that, I would say our demo store is super updated, and it has all the key features. It's not 100% all the comprehensive features. There's just no space to put all the features, but all the important critical features are right there. And then our listing page images, video, everything is pretty up to date. And so I would say that is the best place to know and get some basic understanding of the Appsel apps. Beyond that, any questions, again, going back to that previous question that you had, do people really need to do homework? I would say not really needed. Even to know about Appsel, we are just one ping away. We have 24/7 support, as Hemant mentioned. And pretty much all our merchant success engineers, we actually call them merchant success engineers, not just support, because their role is not just to fix problems. A lot of times they take demo calls, and they sometimes also go on to consult our merchants on how they can have a winning subscription journey, how they can provide that to their customers. We share insights, our industry knowledge, a lot of, I would say, whole set of things. So it's the complete package of how to keep or how to make our merchants successful. So we just a ping away, and they're always ready to get onto demo calls. And beyond that, we also have our website. Again, I hope we've done a good job in terms of explaining what we do. And again, it's geared towards merchants across different sizes and geographies. So I would say those two are the biggest things. And also, one of the questions that you had was, how much merchants really need to know about subscriptions or memberships. So what we find is most of our merchants kind of know what those different functionalities are, the use cases are. Some of them have already been using competition apps for a few years before they migrate. But there's definitely, I would say, about 15 to 20% merchants who are trying out subscriptions for the very first time. And a lot of them, they don't really know if it'll work for their store, for their product category, for their target customers. They see that subscriptions is accelerating in terms of its growth. So they want to see if it'll work or not. So for them, and as well as every other merchant, we actually have a 10-day free trial, right? So they don't have to pay us anything those 10 days when they're trying to figure out if subscription is a good fit for their store, for their product. And obviously, we do a lot of hand-holding during that time to walk them through it. For a lot of our merchants, we actually set it up for them, starting from how the widgets need to look at, where the widgets need to go, how they need to look to go in with their theme. So we do everything for them. And so, yes, there is free trial. And also our free plan, the basic plan, it's completely free. And even beyond that, merchants don't start paying us until they hit $500 in monthly revenue in subscriptions. So until then, we just see them as, a merchant that's learning, that's exploring. So we want to be there and support them. So we don't charge.
Okay, no, that makes perfect sense. Then with that, obviously the merchant has absolute no risk on trying it out. I myself was on the demo store. I think it's very well made, gives a quick impression. And then obviously with the hand holding, it makes it even easier. I will put the links in the show notes, then you're just one click away. And thanks for giving an overview of how to build retention and loyalty for Shopify merchants. I think it's a very important topic that all merchants right now in the economic situation that we're unfortunately in right now should look into. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's nice talking to you.
Hey, Klaus here. Before you go, I would like to invite you to become part of the e-commerce merchant pro community to get actionable advice from other Shopify merchants who already have achieved what you are aiming for. Our community is a safe place to actively grow your online retail business with the support of the most amazing and helpful group of e-commerce entrepreneurs behind you. Running a Shopify business is tough. Don't do it alone. Join us now. You will find the link in the show notes. Also, if you think your online store has conversion or marketing issues and you would like to have a fresh set of eyes on your business, then drop me an email at klaus@klauslauter.com and let me know a little bit about your business. It might be beneficial for you to have me look over your store, offers, emails, and ads and get an unbiased outside perspective and guidance to help you make most of your online business. Thank you as always for tuning in today. I appreciate you. Until next time, and I talk to you soon.